Well, it's nearly the end of the year, isn't it? It's nearly the end of the year, and we've had a very eventful year, haven't we? All sorts of things have happened, you know. And I would like to be one of those YouTubers that sits down and sums up what's been happening in the world of prog in 2024. But the trouble is I have no interest, right? I'm much more interested in myself and what I'm up to. But Mr. Steve Gould here, not only is he the guy that runs Fusion Fest, the big prog festival in the UK, so he's always on the lookout for bands to play that, but he also has a radio show. So he's had a very wide-ranging view of what's actually happened this year. And so we haven't prepared this. He actually came around to do another thing, and we were just...
I was dropping a coffee machine off.
But basically, and I thought, I'm going to grab... While Steve's here, I'm going to grab him.
Totally unprepared.
And I've really got a lot. I think I've got 5 videos out of him. And what I can do is that they will start up on the day after Boxing Day. Right, all these little short videos will come out, and I'll be able to put my feet up and eat the last of the quality strings. Yeah.
Your eggnog and your figgy pudding.
Figgy pudding. So Steve's here. He knows it now. So, but he's not prepared. So what I think that the way to do it is as we look back at 24 generally, rather than coming out with the 10 best albums, all that like everybody else does, because I don't do it like everybody else.
Yeah.
But Barry over at Classic Album Review and Prog Corner, you know they're going to come out with their 10 best albums of 2000 notes review. We ain't going to do it like that. We're going to sit back and do it in a more adult way.
Yeah. See,
so what was
I would have known. I'm going to put my silly Santa hat on.
Well, you don't need silly hats. As though I would ever do I tell you, we could have a prog cape though. Do you fancy a prog cape? You stay there. We'll finish this off in style.
Oh wow. Here we go.
Here we go. So I've got these here, and they're actually backgrounds for taking photographs. But I did see it, but I thought they could be, if you put it on over here, like Emperor Palantine, like that. Stick that over there, and then you can. Well, it's going to look like the bleed Sound of Music. Let me do this, and I'll put my because I am freezing cold. That's it.
That's the only reason we got them on. It's so cold in here.
It is getting cold, isn't it? Yeah. There we go.
Here we are. We're the 2 wise men.
We do. We actually look quite Christmassy. We don't look proggy. From a distance, it looks a little. You look like a bloody.
We look off the I think Sound of Music.
You need to sing "Climb Every Mountain." Right. So there we go. Just to show I'm not averse to a bit of dressing up.
Yeah. We are the 2 shepherds.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We've turned up to see Jesus.
We have.
We're shepherds.
But he was gone when we got here.
We were watching our socks at the time.
Yeah, he's gone. He'd moved on.
So this is a bit of visual entertainment for you, isn't it? So 2024 prog. What do you instantly think of when you look back on this year?
Without doubt.
Without doubt.
Without doubt. Right. And I know you've got your particular opinion on this.
It better not be that bloody Frost album.
Life in the Wires by Frost.
Oh my God! Why does it have to be a band I was in? Is that the prog event?
That's like.
And worse than that, everyone else has had a chance to get their album out, right? Everyone has had a chance to get their album out, and then Frost leave it right to the last minute, don't they? Right to the last minute, and they go, "Oh, this." So if they hadn't brought their album out, we'd be saying something else. They've trumped everybody, and I don't like the fact they've done that.
It's incredible.
Why is it such a good album?
There's just so much going on in there. I mean, I've been following the band since they came out. When our friend here was in the band, obviously, and I've said before that Million Town is one of the best prog albums of the last 20 years. But I just think they've totally pulled the rabbit out the hat with this new album.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
There's so much going on in there. They've really returned to form in so many ways. Because I know Million Town is held in quite high esteem by so many, and they brought in so many elements of that into the new album. I know Day and Age, there was no solos in that, and I think everybody was very conscious of that. They did that on purpose. In fact, I interviewed Jem at the time when that came out, and I was on about at the end of the title track, it sort of fades out as if he's going into a solo. And he said, well, when they do it live, it was an extra 2 minutes long, and he actually put the full solo in. But you've got to love their solo work, you know, because I think they've really, every single musician on that album has gone to the next level. There's some incredible guitar work from Mr. Mitchell. The synth work's amazing. You know, Nathan King's all over it. Craig Blundell's drum work is just amazing. It's a perfect album, and it totally and utterly defines what modern prog is all about. You need to buy it.
So the number one event, you know, because we're going to be working in Reissues, would be the Frost album. So what else is?
Well, very close, and I was so torn. Really, was The Likes of Us by Big Big Train. I know it's the first album to feature Alberto Bravin, you know, the new singer, but I know my wife would probably say that Big Big Train was the better album.
Is he French?
He's Italian.
Oh, so
he's in PFM.
Was he?
He was in PFM.
We've done a chat about it.
Yeah, he was in PFM. He was, but no.
Because I was going to crack a bad joke that was a bit tasteless.
Was you?
Well, because when I was a kid, we had a program called Bod. Do you remember Bod?
Ah, that was Bob.
Not Pob, not the one who went all over. No, Bod.
Okay, I don't remember. I remember.
And at the end of Bod, they used to have this little cartoon come out. It was called Alberto the Frog. You see.
Oh, okay.
So if he was French,
okay.
I was going to say.
Alberto the Frog.
We could call him Alberto the Frog.
No,
you can't.
No, he's definitely not. He's Italian. Yeah, he was in PFM. But that is an incredible album because obviously everybody was just devastated when David Lungden passed away, and rightly so. Lovely, lovely guy, and a very gifted musician indeed.
Lovely man, incredible singer, incredible musician.
It was such a loss.
Yeah,
it really was. It was such a loss. I remember the day it happened. It was just heartbreaking, and I think, you know, speaking to the band subsequently, they actually did consider knocking it on the head. You know, there were times when because they didn't feel they could carry on, you know, without him, where they pulled a rabbit out the hat with Alberto, and the first album, The Likes of Us, is the first that he's singing on, and I think he's just excelled on it, and he's so established himself as a member of the band. Again, a multi-instrumentalist. He can play the keyboard, the guitar, drums, sings, the whole shooting match. And the last tour they did was just on another level. I would say their tour was one of the highlights of the year, when obviously they played a number of the tracks off the new album.
You don't have to stick to albums. Anything that's happened in Prog in 2024.
But the Big Big Train tour for me was probably the highlight of the year. You know, the album and the tour. But the Frost album just cut it for me. That was me personally. But there were other albums like the Mir album. The new Mir album is superb.
What's that called?
Oh God, you caught me there.
Mir. How do you spell Mir?
M-E-E-R.
Absolutely, obviously.
Yeah. I'll need to get them at Fusion at some point.
Yeah.
They are getting.
And what's that like? Because I don't know anything you're talking about.
I think they're Swedish.
I didn't say where they came from. I said what they like.
What they like.
Swedish.
Well, they're young. They're a young band.
Young Swedes.
There's about 7 of them.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of close harmonies in it.
Yeah. They always like that, don't they?
Yeah.
The Scandinavian types always like their vocal harmonies, don't they?
Yeah. So you got Mir, the Windmill album, Mindscapes. That's worth checking out. God, there's so much. When you start to look back, you don't realise how much music's come out in a particular year. We'll be doing our 2024 retrospective on the Lost Art come the end of the year, you know.
Do you know what date that will be? Roughly when it is?
It goes out every Sunday, 4 till 7 on mmhradio.co.uk. It's called The Lost Art. This coming Sunday will be our Christmas special, which is the 22nd of December. So the 29th will be, we'll probably do it as a part 1 and part 2. So it'll be the 29th of December, and then the first Sunday in January it'll be our 2024 retrospective, where we play tracks from 2024. All the albums that have come out, all the top albums. The other band that really have really blown me away is a band called Oddleaf from France. We've got them playing at Fusion 7 in 2026. They've got one album out at the moment. I think it's called When Ideal and Denial Collide, or something like that.
What's Oddleaf like?
I would call them a more proggy Renaissance, but with more prog elements to it.
Yeah.
Mainly because the lead singer sounds remarkably like Annie Haslam at times. But love that album indeed, really do. God, there's so much.
What about reissues or?
Well, the one that I put down in the Readers' Poll Prog Awards is Fear of a Blank Planet, Porcupine Tree.
It's their best album.
They've
isn't
just
it?
bought out a deluxe version of that, which my wife obviously bought because she's a huge Porcupine Tree fan. And it comes on 4 CDs and a Blu-ray, you know, in a book and all that malarkey. She's also got the Dead Wing and the Absentia ones as well. But that to me was the reissue of the year. They've obviously not long bought out This Strange Engine, Marillion. You know, that's been re-released on CD and vinyl. Hawkwinds, you know, they've really hit their stride at the moment. Stories from Space and Time was their last album. Really have. They've gone through such a revolving door of band members over the years, but they seem to have really hit their stride at the moment with the last couple of albums. So I'd go with them, Hawkwind's album. That's definitely worth checking out. Anything else that you come to mind that you know of?
Because I was quite close to it, Tim Bonus brought his album out.
Yes.
Which I've got on vinyl at the back. Shall I go and get it?
Butterfly Mind.
Butterfly Mind. I'll go and get it because he's a mate. I'm no longer in the band though. No longer. When I decided to leave the Prog.
See, Andy, as you probably know, has made it very clear that he won't be playing in any more prog bands live. But that doesn't mean that the prog scene, the live prog scene, is dead. It's very much alive, and we really do need to support it, you know, because there are so many bands out there.
Yeah,
they'd play for nothing. They would literally play for nothing because they totally love playing live. So here we go.
So this is, and I love this album. What did I just step on then? And break.
You trod on your cape.
Look at that. Actual vinyl.
Whoa. You play on it?
No, it's Tim did it all himself, so it's very like a Brian Eno album. It's that type of sort of electronica, and it's like it's really
Powder Dry. Yeah.
Powder Dry. I knew it wasn't called Butterfly Mind. That was the one before.
That was the album before.
Yes. Well, that's good. So, what about gigs? I think I've stepped on my crisps.
Oh no.
I felt like I broke something.
I'll tell you,
then.
we've been to a number of gigs this year. Riverside, which was the early part of the year, they were doing their id Entity tour. They were amazing. They've again a band that have totally hit their stride. They've got such a following now, and their live performance. They played at the O2 Institute in Birmingham was just on another level.
See, the bands like Riverside, I don't know much about. They're really big, aren't they, in terms of the prog scene?
I mean, I've seen them now about 5 times. I saw them the first time they come to the UK. They played 2 dates. They did Lydney Town Hall and London. But now they're playing huge venues, you know. Really have come on, and wonderful band. And again, when they lost their guitarist a number of years ago, such a tragedy, only 40, you know, and passed away. And again, the future of the band was in the balance, and they brought in a session guitarist who's now a full-time member of the band. Don't even ask me to pronounce his name because it's Polish, and I don't speak Polish.
No.
But no, they have really hit their stride. We saw Spock's Beard at it was a converted Russian boat in Bristol called Thekla. Again, a band that deserved a much bigger stage, but a tiny stage, and a very, very competent performance indeed. Then we've had HRH Prague, Summer's End, Winter's End, obviously Mark Cunningham's lot, Prog for Peart. It's the live music scene is growing in, well, it really does need to enhance itself at the moment, but it's coming on leaps and bounds in so many ways, the live prog scene.
I have an issue with it, and I think I came to a realisation this year that when you've got things to do, and this YouTube channel takes up a lot, Steve's actually been involved in the sort of workload here because he's done a few videos. I'd actually done 2 hours before you got here. Yeah. This is how you keep up and have a video coming out every day. So it's you know, I've got to get these home and edit them. So with that, every time when you get to do a prog gig, because people are turning out less and less, this is the case, isn't it? They're turning out less and less for each gig. right? So a band that was pulling X amount is pulling less, and they're pulling less, and then there's certain bands like you say Riverside, that's great, but they've been able to get into the echelon above.
Yeah.
So the money's not there, and because you could only get one gig, I think the thing is, if there were more gigs and you could do the rehearsals and then go out and do 5 gigs in a row, it would make the rehearsing worthwhile. But for prog, you have to rehearse it. So you end up in a rehearsal room, you have to do 2 or 3 rehearsals to get it all sorted out, to deliver the goods so the audience isn't let down, to do one gig that you make no money on. So it's really, really difficult. Now, one of the things that Steve has done, and I think this is another event that he has pulled together, and hopefully this will be the big event for next year, is you've created this thing called the Sunday Club, haven't you? Do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah. I think over the years, going to gigs since I was 15, and I'm now, you tend to know, when I did the Fusion last year, Richard West from League of Lights, who's also the keyboard player with Threshold, he said, how do you know what bands to use, how do you put this together? And I think over the years you sort of know what works and what don't work, so you only tend to use what works, and then the stuff that you don't work you just don't use, so you sort of fine tune it. And the new project I've got lined up, in addition to the next Fusion, which is the 6th to the 9th of March next year at Stourport Civic, fusionprogfestivals.com, it's a monthly thing. And I think now everybody's got used to having subscriptions, for the gym and Spotify and Netflix and all that malarkey, that I was sort of working along those lines, that you pay a monthly subscription. You can still come to the gig without being a member, but you pay more. So you benefit by being a member by paying less. You actually, if you check out thesundayclub.net, we've got all the pricing on there. You're actually saving, ultimately, if you came to every gig, you're saving just under £80 over the year. But I wanted to try and put something in place to give the lesser known bands a platform to basically bring their music to the live scene. And so we've got some well-established bands, we've got some new bands, and for every gig you'll have a support band and a main band. And it's every Sunday, starting, doors open at 5, finishes at 8:30, so a nice early start, nice early finish. And even if you can't make it, we've got a streaming option, which works out at £60 for the year, which is £5 a gig. And so I'm fully aware that obviously some people can't make it because of physical, geographic or economic reasons, so we've got that covered. So it'll be a subscription-based thing, as Andy said, where you pay £15 a month and you get 2 bands, a support and a mainline band. And we've got people like Solstice, we've got Ghost of the Machine, we've got Andy's band Law of 3 in May, This Winter Machine, Deck Burke's coming along, who's played with Andy in the past in Frost. So we've got a real wide selection of bands, and you can check that out on thesundayclub.net. That, along with Fusion, is my big project for 2025. And I don't do this for the money. I know that sounds like a bit of a cliche. I do it for the love of the music and the love of the bands, and to obviously give them an opportunity to play live, to bring their music to the people that don't know it exists even, So
if you watch this channel and you love your prog, and you can see we're trying to support it here, there's actually quite a big audience of prog fans here watching this, right? What you have to understand is, especially young people, if they form a band that is making music which is beyond category, is pushing the boundaries, that we could then call prog. So this is all sorts of music that doesn't fit in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Those bands cannot go down their local venue and play. Well, they can, but when they do, everyone will go, what the hell's this?
Yeah.
And they won't get it.
So, a mass walkout.
And so there's a whole bunch of bands that never get to gig, haven't got that structure. They can make their albums, they can reach out and film stuff in their garage and do all that. But this venue that we have local to us, 45 Live, is a brilliant venue. You could sit and watch the bands and be comfortable, sit back and have a drink, have something to eat. Yeah. Or you could go down to the front. Yeah. This great big stage. The PA sounds incredible. It's really big conducive.
Display at the back.
The bands have got their own dressing room, so they can get around the back, but it's also conducive for them to come out and talk to the audience. It's the perfect place. And what Steve's trying to do is provide a stage for bands that aren't that don't fit into the mainstream, which is what prog should always be. And if you can do that, it'll keep the scene alive. So when you're paying in, what you're really paying for is the idea of this project getting off the ground. Now, the truth is if you had 200 people sign up after these videos, it's not going to happen, but say you had 200 people sign up, so he's got like $3,000, suddenly you would be able to do more. You would be able to offer the people in the club more. You would be able to bring in, because the more people that sign up for it, if you had the amount that sign up for the 250 capacity, if they were just to sign up, once you're there, you could actually put bands on that are so much bigger than the venue could take. And then it starts to get exclusive, and you know that you're going to be able to see a band, but up close, and probably meet them. It becomes a club, a literal club.
We've even got 2 special gigs throughout the year, which aren't on a Sunday. One is ORK, which features Pat Mastelotto from
I'm going to be there for that. I've got that album.
And Colin Edwin from Porcupine Tree. And and the support for that is the Paradox Twin, who we had at one of the previous fusions. And then also in May, we've got Callie Valner from Blind Ego and RPWL coming over. And he's doing a very short tour, including 45 Live. So these will be in addition to the monthly gigs that are happening on the last Sunday of every month from January the 26th. But I just feel that I need to do my bit, because music has played such a big part in my life. It brought me and my wife together. It's just such a love between us that I felt I had to put something back into the music scene. And I'm not looking at doing it for money. At the end of the day, I know it sounds like a cliche. I hate talking about money, but at the end of the day, I know that things cost money. I have to pay for the venue, I have to pay the bands and everything else. But just to be able to cover the costs would be enough for me. End of story.
So that's looking forward to 2025. We've had an appraisal of 2024.
Big Train, Mia, like I say, Frost for sure. Oddleaf, When Denial and Ideal Collide.
What about any letdowns? Stuff that was supposed to come out and did Peter Gabriel have an album out at the beginning of the year? Was that this year?
I think that was at the end of 23.
Was it?
Was it? Yeah. Tears for Fears have actually brought out their first live album, Songs for a Nervous Planet, which has got 4 original studio tracks on as well. They did do a live music video which went out at cinemas. I think it went out on the 24th and the 26th of October, and the live album came out on the 25th in the middle. But I suspect that there'll be a DVD and a Blu-ray of that set coming out at some point in the future. So that was I love Tears for Fears.
How has Tears for Fears got? They have sort of jumped on the prog bandwagon, haven't they? Sort of. It's really weird, this is.
Yeah.
If you saw me in Prog magazine, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. And all the prog fans I know have got the album, and it's really hard. And I'm open enough to say those albums they made, prog albums. There's a certain vibe that was very proggy in the 80s, and people don't realise it.
Again, it comes down to what you define as prog, doesn't it, really? You speak to a lot of prog fans. I mean, Nick Kershaw, for example, who would think he would be associated with prog?
But he was proggy.
I know a lot about people who like Nick Kershaw, and he actually sang on one of the Genesis Revisited albums. He did a take of The Lamia off Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Well, I'll tell you something I'm going to do in 2025. I'm going to mention this again. I'm going to keep mentioning it on the channel at the end of this video, because I want this to happen, right? Rick Astley, he's a talented man. Right, he's an incredible singer. He's got a very rich voice. He plays all the instruments. He can write songs. He's still going because he's great. And Rick is
He'll never give up on you, then.
Rick is a massive prog fan.
Yeah.
And I think his favourite band is Camel.
Okay.
I think it's Camel, right? I want him to come on here to do a show about prog. And if it's Camel, I will email Peter Jones, the keyboardist of Camel, Peter, and I'll get him up here.
That'd be good.
and I will get him, and I will get him doing some camel songs with Peter. So if anybody's got any contacts for Rick Astley, that will be the Prog event of 2025.
And you won't have to worry because you'll never want to give you up, will they?
You've said that joke twice. I didn't laugh the first time. Right. Do you want to do it again?
No, you're all right. Twice is enough.
Okay, I'm going to give up on you at some point. Coming down here with your prog knowledge. Come down here. Tell us what happened in 2024. Oh, Frost came out with a new album. It was really good. Oh, my old band. Yeah, that I'm not in anymore. Yeah, that one. Right, it's going dark, is it? What's the time?
It's 7 o'clock at night.
What's the time?
It's only 2:05.
2:05, and it's going dark. I tell you, I hate this bloody time of year.
Well, we haven't had any sunshine this year, have we?
But if you're watching this now, this is post-Christmas, so you're out of it. You're on the other. You've gone past the 21st. It's now slowly getting lighter.
I hope you've all had a good Christmas and ate plenty and drank plenty.
And thank you, Steve, for coming on, and helping me out here. Because the thing with these, we've done a ton today. Yeah. I've shot some more this morning, which are the ones I've got to get done. Then Steve turned up and said he couldn't help me out, and we have hammered through a whole bunch of videos. You know, and then the reason why it's unprepared and impromptu is because when you're in YouTube, I don't ever want to not put a video out. But we've got 5 done today, which I can then just bang out. They don't require any editing. They'll just bang up, and I think we've had some fun, and we've imparted some knowledge, and we've had a laugh, and I hope we've entertained you through this Christmas holiday, and I'll have a few days off, and then I'll come back with some proper ones. Yeah. Proper ones. And,
ones.
And I'm going to get Steve back in. I think it was good to have this chat, because I think we should have... I'd like to do a Tangerine Dream one, because I know you really bring all the albums down for that. Yeah, we'll do a Tangerine Dream one. And I think there was something else I wanted to get you down to do as well. But anyway, we're done, aren't we? You enjoy that?
Yeah. I have to admit, guys, although I've been around prog for the biggest part of my life, and it's played such a big part in my life, and still does, I have to admit there are holes in my knowledge. And
say that again.
And so there are holes in my knowledge. But I'll come back to what I said before. I know what I like in my wardrobe.
Oh, well, that's it now. I wonder what date this is coming out on. Oh, I can't work it out. This might be near to the last one of 2000. This video is. If it is, then this is the last one. So, Happy New Year to everybody. I just wish I'd have known that you were going to ask me to do this. No,
Because I could have brought my Santa hat down.
I've done Santa hats.
Have you?
Yeah, all with the bloody batteries running out now. Are we still on?
Yeah, we are.
Right, we're done, I think.
Okay.
I ain't going to do all the like, subscribe, go join Patreon, go and check you can do your website if you want.
TheSundayClub.net. Check it out immediately. And in the meantime, Happy New Year. I look forward to catching up with you in 2025.
Let's finish with a song, shall we?
Go on then. What song are we going to have?
Something I can play. It's got 3 chords.
Go on. Is it what I know the lyrics to?
Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash.
Oh my God. Is that where it is? Ring of Fire.
Love's a burning flame, and it makes a fiery ring.
I've had a fire.
I was captured by pure desire, and I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and the flames ate the fire, and it burned, 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 burned that ring of fire. Your turn now.
Oh my! I don't know the words.
Just make something up.
We're sitting here, freezing our asses off in the middle of at the end of 2024, talking about prog, and what was that one? The frog.
Alberto.
Yeah.
The frog.
The frog.
Well, that's pretty rubbish, but what would you expect at this point of the video?
Total lunacy.
Ah, well, it's what I do, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's what I do.
lunacy.
But they seem to like it, you see. They like this rubbish. That's the weird thing with my audience. They do like this rubbish. I think we are scraping we're scraping the barrel.
Spontaneous and improvised. Oh wow. Oh, now you're talking.
Oh God, I mean, I just pulled that out.
Nice, that was good.
A bit of prog for you.
The harmonics there.
Yeah, a bit of yes.
The harmonics.
But that's a prog band that you can do that.
Yeah.
You can pick that up and play that, and as soon as you hear it, you go, "Where are we?"
Yeah.
It just transforms
It's
you
that
straight away.
That first chord.
Yeah, it's harmonics, you see.
Yeah.
See you all. Happy New Year, and look after yourselves. See
Thanks
you all.
for listening. Thanks for watching.
See you all the
Support
next
this
year.
guy.
And support me in every way you possibly can. Because this time next year, if the predictions are right, I'm going to be on 100,000K, and then I'm going to get that silver plaque from YouTube.
Wow.
And once I've done that, all this work I'm doing, I will feel my job. It will be done. At that point, I'm going to sit back and relax and see where we're at. But that's what next year holds for me. By this time next year, I should have 100K and I should have the silver plaque. That's what we're going for. And the reason I've got there is because of you lot. You have been bloody brilliant. I have the best audience that anybody could ever have. We have really created some great things here. We get deep philosophical. We get like comedy stuff. We act like silly. We do everything we possibly can. And you guys go with all of it. And I know that my viewers, with their brilliant sense of humour, their brilliant music taste, and their anarchic sense of fun that people of our age can still have, right? That you have supported me all the way down the line. And I have to thank my bloody lovely patrons. They have their own chat group on it. They won't let me in now. They don't want me there because they have such a good time sharing their music, doing all this stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And they are the best bunch of people. Every time I go in, they're so funny. This is a great community. I know sometimes people come outside like Warning fans. The Warning fans, they all came here, a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? And caused all sorts of stink. But hopefully we've had some open-minded Warning fans, join us here in our little community, although open-minded and Warning fans might be an oxymoron. Or there's a bunch of morons, I don't know. Anyway, let's not mention them. Thank you all. I love you all. Even Steve loves you. We love you all. Have a good time, and thanks for your support, and thanks for watching these crappy videos at the end of the year that me and Steve just bust. Thank you very much.